What is up, UOC crew, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new, make sure you subscribe so you can see all about our crazy family and things that we do. Today, we are talking about how the UOC crew took over Zoo Atlanta. Guys, we have been stuck in the house like most of you, and this is really the first time that we took the kids out in the public. Thought about actually just going up to the cabin in the mountains, kind of still social distance and kind of still do something fun like fishing or whatever. But the kids for the first time didn't want to go. I think it's because it's been our go-to during COVID, is just to kind of go up to Blue Ridge and kind of get away. So before, where we were only doing it like once a year, we had already been a couple times, so the kids were just like over that idea. But Kaylee actually said for her birthday she wanted to go to the zoo, and we are normally annual pass holders with the zoo, but when COVID and everything hit, we kind of let our membership lapse. We just weren't really sure about, big crowds and things like that. So when she asked, I started doing some research, and I found that the zoo is actually, taking precautions for COVID just like everyone else. So they're requiring time tickets. So you actually have to reserve a spot. They have one-way directions in a lot of places so that you're not crossing paths with as many people. And they're just doing their best, all cards, no cash, just doing their best to respect the CDC guidelines for social distancing as much as possible. So I talked with Tim and we decided we were gonna go. So this was our first zoo trip in just over a year, because actually we don't really go very much in the winter because the animals aren't out. So it had been since fall of 2019 that we went to the zoo. But nonetheless, we were excited, and so were the kids.
So the thing I love about going to the zoo is we get to go together as a family, right? The kids have been going to the zoo for a very long time. They've kind of grown up going through the process. I love how Mama over there has it all coordinated in terms of which stops we're going to first, where we're going next, etc.
So zoo has always been the affordable place for families. Their membership is inexpensive. You can bring your own food in, coolers. Even when the babies were babies, I'd bring the wagon and all of our stuff. So it really is affordable. So yeah, I was very much looking forward to going to the zoo. We announced it to the kids. They were all excited. It was great. We tried to schedule a time where we still thought it would be less busy. So we wanted to go in the morning. So we planned to go in the morning and have lunch there. And it was great. It really gave us time to get up, get breakfast going, get out there. Of course, we were still running a little bit late, because when are we not ever running a little bit late? But we got there, JMO was waiting on us. And when we pull up, we realized that the zoo is now charging for parking. It was crazy because we've been Zoo Atlanta members for, gosh, how old's Kaylee? Almost 9 years now. And they've never charged for parking. So that added a whole different dynamic, I guess. I understand people have got to make up their money from somewhere. Everybody's been hurting during the pandemic. So I wish they would have just let us know when we purchased our tickets, hey, just FYI, it's paid parking now. But the zoo was great. Everything we expected. I thought that it would be a little bit more one-directional, and there were many aspects of the exhibits where you still were having some cross traffic, but it wasn't busy at all. So I don't know if it's the time ticketing or just the day that we chose, but it really was not very busy, and we felt like we could still stay safe and far apart from other groups. I was looking forward to the new African plantains exhibit. They had redone the entire African Sahara type thing area with the giraffes and stuff. But it was a little bit cold when we went, and we didn't see very many animals there. We saw the elephants and a couple zebras, but we were missing the giraffes and the rhinos and ostriches and those other parts of Africa. So I could see that they have done up that whole area a lot. There's a huge observatory and different encounter areas for the elephants, which is nice. So we're looking forward to seeing that more in the spring. Otherwise, we kind of made our path through like we normally do. Some of the enclosed areas, for example, the reptiles where you just go into a smaller room, they were blocked off, I guess because those areas tend to get a little bit crowded. We did have a short wait to get into the reptile exhibit, but it was nice. They had a keeper out there kind of keeping us entertained, making a little jokes about waiting in line. And it was maybe just a 10-15 minute wait. It wasn't long at all before we could go into the reptile exhibit. Lunch was nice. They had the big restaurant, I think they call it the Nourish Cafe now, was closed. So you couldn't go into the inside, but you could walk up, place orders. They have a little food cart out there where you can place smaller orders as well. And then all of the seating was outside. They opened up the pavilion. So it was great. I was able to get a big table and kind of do my thing with lunch we brought from home, and Tim and I kind of tag team making everyone's plates and getting everybody fed, because at that point they were a little hangry, I think. But lunchtime was very easy. I think we've kind of got that down to a science. Unfortunately, the petting zoo is closed. That's usually a highlight for the kids, but that was closed. We did ride the train, so the train is always a fan favorite. This time was the first time that Kaylee was old enough, or maybe I felt like she was old enough to go on the ropes course that they have. So that was super exciting. Actually, all the kids wanted to go on the ropes course, but the way it works is if they're under 48 inches, they have to have an adult go with them. And Kaylee was the only one that was over 42 inches. So she was able to go on by herself, but then that leaves me with 3 other kids. And unfortunately, I was the only other adult available to go. So that was a little bit hard. I had to make a decision. I was gonna not let any of the little kids go because I didn't wanna play favorites.
I don't really like heights all that much. So listen, I can probably save myself, but I ain't even gonna put my kids in that situation to where, you know what I mean, I got to try to save them, and I don't really mess with heights like that anyway. So, yeah, as we're in line, everybody's thinking they're gonna get on this rope course, but nah, I had a master plan all along. I already knew what the lady was gonna say. She was gonna say, listen, they ain't big enough, so somebody gotta go with them. So, TJ, obviously his height wasn't big enough from a height standpoint, so someone had to go with him. And then Drea was like, oh, well, can one of the girls go with Kaylee? And the lady's like, nah, you gotta have an adult with the girls. But the lady was like, oh, the girls can go with one person with an adult. And I'm just like, yep, that's my cue to say, all right, nope, come on, girls, we going to the carousel. We gonna do that whole ordeal.
Papa made the executive decision that TJ could go this time and the other girls would just go ride the merry-go-round, which is, you know, equally exciting, right? So at first, when I started with Timothy on the ropes course, he was very timid. Like he didn't want to trust the rope. So he kept saying like, no, I don't want to go this way, or I want to go this way, or I'm too scared, or what happens if I fall? And it was really a lot of like hyping him up and, you know, giving him the confidence that he could do it, and also letting him know that I was right there with him. But he was super nervous. And then when we got up to the top and it was time to do the zip line, they wanted me to go first so that I could be waiting for him on the other side. But he didn't want me to leave him. And then he didn't know how he felt about staying back with the, you know, the attendant, I guess. So it was a little bit nerve-wracking. I kind of tried to talk to him about it. We saw a couple other kids get stuck. So maybe like if they weren't big enough. So I was trying to tell him like, oh, this is what happens if you get stuck, or, you know. So he said, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then, so I went first, and then it was his turn. And then he was like pausing, like I was like, are you gonna come? So I'm like hyping him up from the other side, like, come on, you can do it, I got you. And he finally came across, and I don't think the weight was an issue. I think he slid right across, he didn't get stuck. But then after that, he was like totally cool about it. Then he felt like he could just conquer anything. Then he was just, after the zip line part, he was just on a roll. Addison was not happy about not getting to go on the ropes course.
We're gonna bring somebody really brave, like Uncle, okay? And then he's gonna go with us so that Mommy can go with you and Sydney, okay?
They came back up. They're still a little bit upset, but they'll be all right. Y'all just gotta, you know, y'all grow. Y'all be able to do it here in the future. But I can't do it with you because I don't like heights.
She had the biggest meltdown. She was super sad. She just did not equate the merry-go-round and the ropes course. And I can't really blame her, but Sydney was more cool about it. She was just like, okay, I'll get to go next time. But Addison was so mad. Once we finished the ropes course, she was still mad. And we were trying to take a family picture at the end on our way out, and she was just not having it. She was so disappointed. Thanks for coming along for our Zoo Atlanta takeover. We had a great time. Overall, the zoo was a blast. The kids had a great time. It was a very long day. The kids were like falling asleep in the car before we could even get home. If you want to see more videos like this, please make sure that you subscribe. If you have any questions about the zoo or what it was like, you can leave those in the comments too. Otherwise, we'll be back soon with another video. I gotta do this thing.